Good morning, Iowa. How are you doing this morning? Oop, get my mic in the right place. Yeah, just trying to show off the current status for me for Beta 4 with a Vive with a uh, Vive Pro 2 with Valve Index controllers with the OpenXR flag. So it's lacking a few things that I have when I don't use this flag. So I just kind of wanted to show that off so I can get it kind of documented, and I can kind of point to the developers and kind of like, hey, this is not complete. So they already know that the controllers themselves, the VR image, doesn't show up with the Valve Index controllers. So, but as I'm playing around in the cockpit here, I'm finding more things. So, like there's no haptics. So, if I go over here and I highlight the mixture, it lights up. Of course, I can't see the image of the controller, but I don't feel it either. So, where previously I would feel it, and when I'm using the D3 D11 flag, I feel it. So, and the image is there. So this is just related to the OpenXR part. But as far as performance-wise, it's pretty good. Yep, not quite yet, but I think I'll go right now. Thank you. Should be live now. I forgot when I was talking to you, you ain't seeing the video. Sorry about that. Yeah, it looks like we're good now. Okay, I'll start like yeah, I haven't streamed in a while, so it's gonna take me a little bit of time to get everything back where I belong. Audio and VR is always a big challenge, so let me kind of look at what's going on. Yeah, it looks like I'm streaming voice, so that's cool. And let me check one more thing here. Oh, this is so hard. Oh yeah, that's good. This is so hard. There we go. Okay, good morning. My name is Sparker in VR, and people that know me in real life, I'm Bill. And I stream VR. I've taken a bit of a hiatus, and a couple of reasons. One is I'm kind of waiting for a new headset, and the other reason is I really like the way that that X-Plane 12 is looking, but the hello, Captain Bombasso. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much. And so basically, what I'm going to do today is I'm using the open XR open underscore XR flag, and so basically we're running X-Plane's native open XR implementation. It works, but for some people, normally when you start up a VR headset, if everything's working right, it should automatically find your headset and your controllers. Would depend on the headset for sure. And the other thing is it's frames. If your frames are low, Mine are not. I've got, how should I put this? If I get below 30, when I move my head, I can see the headset will be ahead of the scenery. And it'll catch up if I stop moving my head. But if I get too much below that, what you're experiencing is what I'll get. So what's going on is when you're moving your head, the scenery isn't staying. So if I move my head, slowly, but if I move my head, everything stays in line. But if the frames get too low or the GPU frame time gets too high, then it's going to stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. No doubt, no doubt. And one thing I'll say, like straight away, VR for most headsets, the headsets that I run, I'll put it this way: the headsets I run are high-end, high-res headsets. They demand a powerful computer. If you try to not give them that, it may not be a good experience for you. That's a fact. I've done it, and I've learned that spend your money on a good GPU and make sure that GPU is matched with the CPU you put with it. Just putting in a fast GPU with a slower CPU, that'd be bad luck. OpenVR is Steam's engine. What I'm running right now is called OpenXR, and quite frankly, I do not have a good handle on the AMD cards. I just don't. I used them a long time ago, but not currently. So. Okay. Actually, I flew yesterday, and the clouds looked quite nice. I mean, I was pretty happy with what I saw yesterday. So today I'm kind of my plan is to kind of do a bit of chatting here on the ground before I start the plane, but I do. Clouds at night. I don't normally fly at night. I will have to do that and check. I will absolutely have to do that and check because I generally don't fly at night because when I was taking my private training, my private pilot training, we did a couple of night flights and I didn't like the feeling. It was disorienting to me. I was actually at this airport. And I basically turned before the runway. So I basically was lined up. So if I look down the runway kind of this way, I was lined up that way. My instructor grabbed the yoke out of my hand so I could get lined up for the runway. I was that disoriented. So I normally don't fly at night. If I fly and it kind of gets towards dusk, when it, I'll continue to fly. But I normally don't fly at night. So I don't have a good understanding of that, but I certainly will take a look because of that. So what's going on with my system? So right now, normally my VR controllers, I would see them. So if I put it down here, I would see that controller, and because of the OpenXR flag, they're not being displayed. And the other thing I just found out this morning is normally also when that green thing lights up, normally I would the haptic of my controller, I would feel it, and I'm not. And so what it makes is real difficult. It's like if I come over here, this is hard to kind of blindly make sure you're moving your controller level to kind of hit these buttons over here. That's hard. I mean, it's really hard. When you actually have the image of the controller, you know exactly where you are. You know, in the same way as if I come up here, I would know even before I got to that knob how close I was, so I could start slowing down when I get close to the knob. But because of the current implementation, that's and on the valve index controllers, that's kind of an issue right now. So, and it's something I haven't filled out a bug report for because I just found it 10 minutes ago. so, let me. I'm trying to see what I want to do here. Okay. So because we're using OpenXR, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to actually visualize this. One thing I'll go into SteamVR first. So if I click on my little my SteamVR menu button, and I'm going to go to controller bindings. So if we go over here and it says manage bindings for X-Plane, and normally this is going to be set for default, but I have it on custom. So if I click on edit this binding, you can see over here, edit binding, X-Plane bindings from OpenXR for Knuckles by me. And so basically this is my personal bindings for when I'm using X-Plane with OpenXR for the Valve Index controllers or the Knuckles. So what it allows you to do is you can come in here and you can actually edit and make things different. The one thing I do is you have an A and a B button on the index controllers. It's kind of funny because they're both that way, but they're left and right. But that's just the way they are. What I try to do is make the in-game, the in-sim button that if I want to I don't think I can do these. I can't do it right now. The thing that actually turns on the flower menu, I want that to be on the upper button. So I want that to be on the B button, and on the A button, I want that one to be free. So I can make. I'll get out of here. Return the game. So for instance, you can't see it, but I'm pushing on the lowest button. So if I push on this, that's plane command. So basically, I want the button closest to my thumb to be the button that I have an opportunity to use for my own use. The upper button, kind of interesting. No, that ain't working. So the upper button I think I have turned off. But if I squeeze on the Valve Index controller, I squeeze it, then that makes that flower menu show up. And so it stays on until you squeeze it again. So and the other one's the same way. So but those bindings, these bindings are different if you don't use the these are for OpenXR. They're not for SteamVR. SteamVR are completely different bindings. The actual names and stuff here are completely different because it is the configuration from OpenXR, and so they're different. And that's the reason why normally I would publish this to a workshop, but because these aren't completely working correctly in X-Plane, I'm not going to do that until until everything is working. Everything works as good as not using the OpenXR flag. What else I want to go over? I want to see. See if I can do this. This may be difficult. We'll see, though. Can I do this? Well, maybe I can. I guess I can. Oops. Resources. Nope, this is not going to work the way I want it to. It is way too small. And, no. No. What I wanted to show. We'll see if I can just shove this over here a ways. What I'm having a hard time trying to slide. Okay, this will be hopefully good enough. So basically, I'm in Explain Resources, and under here, there's a thing called VR. No, not really. Basically, all it is you're just adding. You basically on the shortcut. Basically, at after the explain.exe, just put a space, minus open open underscore XR, and that basically will tell. So when you use that shortcut, that'll basically tell Explain, I want to use the OpenXR implementation for Explain. It's really that simple. I don't have anything. I don't have OpenXR Toolkit installed. I don't have any of the other OpenXR stuff installed. Nothing. It is just a complete clean install. And that's the only thing I've added to Explain to make it work. So I'm watching on org. I'm watching all kinds of people. You know, hey, I'm doing this and this and this. It's like I'm not so sure that the way the developers of Explain implemented OpenXR was thinking about all these third-party add-ons related to OpenXR. I just don't think they were thinking about that. Yeah, like I said, I don't use. Here's the reason I don't use OpenComposite, because it doesn't support controllers, and which is really kind of sad right now because my controllers aren't working as good as they should, you know. But yeah, you know, so I mean, and I'm back up just a bit. So I fly with physical yoke and pedals. So I have an MFG Crosswind rudder pedals, and I have a Fulcrum 1 yoke. That's it. That's all my physical controls, with the exception of VR controllers. That's how I fly in VR, and I have for a long period of time. Pretty much ever since native VR came to Explain, and it's what I prefer. And when I find a sim that doesn't support controllers as well as Explain does, I don't have fun flying in it. So, and that happens to be MSFS. The controller support is poor. Example. Let's see. So in MFSS, if you can see where I'm just slowly moving this throttle in. In MFSS, if I do the same thing with the same controllers, you're going to get no movement, no movement, no movement. And after I've moved about 25%, that throttle is going to jump 25%. So that's kind of bad on the throttle, but think about it on a trim wheel. All of a sudden, you're going to be out of control. You better be ready to grab a yoke, because you're going to be either trimmed up or trimmed down bad. so and it's why currently I haven't been streaming it for that reason. It doesn't and I was at FS Expo, so I got the opportunity. I was really surprised I had this opportunity. I got to talk to Seb, the basically the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I got to talk to him, and I was asking him. I says, "Do you use VR controls when you fly in VR?" And he goes, "No." And I says, "Have you ever tried them?" I says, "Because they're bad." And he just looked at me, you know. I says, "You use a mouse, right?" He goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, I said, "A mouse in VR is foreign to me." It just is. And so I explained to him exactly what I showed there, and he was surprised. He had somebody with him that was kind of taking notes, but the sad part is it's been a month since I was there. I have heard nothing from them. I didn't expect to, but I've heard nothing. So yes, yeah. And I don't know if you have to actually like delete them. I mean, you just have to have them not active, I guess would be the right way to say it. And that's exactly how I would. That's how I'm using it. Now, here's the problem. I'm using my Vive Pro 2 with Valve Index controllers. So I don't have a Reverb G2. I don't have an Oculus. I don't have any of the other ones. About the only other one that I used to have was a Reverb G. Well, I had a Vive and I had a Vive Pro, and now I have a Vive Pro 2. But I don't have them anymore, and I probably could get them back, but I give them to my girlfriend's grandson. So that's kind of. I would feel I may be able to borrow them back from him, and I may do that before this is all over. But I don't have those I don't have those headsets right with me. So all I can do is test using what I have. And what I wanted to get to, and this is going to be hard because this is small. Okay, so if you go into explain resources, if you don't, yes, if you don't have, you'd have to have Steam VR. What's your headset? G2? So in here, we have explain resources, and then, okay, to the best of my knowledge, and this is what I did when I had my G2. So I installed Steam VR, and then I installed Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. I installed both of them, and that's how I run my G2 and X-Plane. So I would think that would be the correct thing to do. And if you're on Captain Babasso, you're on Discord, right? So in this folder here, interaction profiles, basically you have JSON files, so .json files, and you have them for each one of the controllers. So how this is supposed to work and how it works on the that's okay, and how this works. Oh, are you on Discord? One, two, three, four. I just want to make sure my mic was working. So how this is supposed to work is when X-Plane starts up, it's supposed to use whatever controller you have. It's going to use this file. If you're using the OpenXR flag. It's going to use whatever your controller is. Oh, okay, okay. I was going to say, if you're on Discord, we could do a voice chat or a video or whatever you need. So, okay, no problem at all. I thought I seen your name on Discord. So, okay. But so that's how it's supposed to work. And I know there's at least one user on the org that has a G2, and this isn't showing up correctly for him. And let me explain. So this one here is the bottom one's Windows Mixed Reality. This one here is Valve Index. So when I start up, if I go over here, and I go under joystick. So if I click down, so okay. So when I start X-Plane up from a complete install, so there's no joystick configuration, it will populate these, and it will put all this information in, with the exception of the of this one here. It will put all this information in. And the one user I know on that has a G2, what's going on is here, instead of saying like Windows Mixed Reality or G2 or something like that, it's saying Rift. So for some reason, it's not reading correctly this .json file. It's not reading it correctly, whatever the reason is. But mine didn't show up at all. I didn't. Mine said exactly the same thing, but I had to work with Chris Sirio, and basically he created this file for Valve Index controllers. So that's how that's supposed to work. But one of the other bugs of OpenXR right now. So I just wanted to kind of, and I know it's really small, but it's under X-Plane Resources, Interaction Profiles is the folder, and that's where all the JSON files are, and that's what basically this JSON file, it basically creates this. It creates this. So if you actually look in that .json file, you'll find these names. You'll find them in that file. So how it's supposed to work is when X-Plane starts up, it basically populates this stuff over here. Now normally it's on default, so you can't see it, but because I have because I have said edit, I can actually look into what is on SteamVR for OpenXR. Okay. So what are we doing here? So many things to kind of go over, and in VR it's sometimes like that. That's really difficult. I should have probably made them bigger, but if I need to at a later date, I'll absolutely do that. One other thing that I've been noticing is that my GPU frame times are like way better than they were in the first couple of betas of X-Plane 12. It was bad. It was kind of like I can't do this. So what Sydney just he basically figured out a way to basically it's a flag that's minus D3 D11. Basically, when you do the OpenXR flag, it basically does that kind of behind the scenes. So if you look in, if you have the OpenXR flag on, when you start up, if you look in your log file, you'll see, if you look in the log file, you'll see a mention of a D3, D11. And basically that, what he's trying to do is he's using a different method to kind of feed the SteamVR composter, and it was a huge improvement. I started using it the same time I built a new computer, so it was a little difficult to tell if it was an improvement or was it my new computer. And so it took me a little while to make sure, and I've turned it off and back on, and it is a tremendous difference. If I turn that feature off, my frame times right now, because I'm running Xworld, I'm running Global Force version 2. That's it. So I'm running pretty heavy scenery, and if I didn't have that, my frame time, my frames here would be probably 25. They'd probably be 10 more, and my FPS would probably be around 30, maybe 35, but I'll bet you it'd be 30. So it's a tremendous difference to make VR much more enjoyable. Right now, every once in a while, when I move my head too fast, I'll see just a really quick jitter, just a, kind of like the picture stayed to my left, and then caught up with me, but it's fast. I mean, it's under a second. It's really, really quick. And so that's one thing. And then the other thing I'm doing is I'm just trying this. Whoops. That's not where I wanted to go. Graphics. Yeah, I wanted to go here. Okay. So this is kind of where Bill's got, where I've got my settings right now. This guy here, I run him cranked up. Cloud quality, I run it between here and high. Shadows, I turn off. Aircraft only, that's fine for me. Shadows are hungry. And so, due to the fact I'm using Xworld, I kind of want to see the object. So I have that up to the top. And rendering distance, pretty high, but I don't see a benefit of running it all the way up. Vegetation density, kind of in the middle. Important one here is I don't use the Zinc plugin. I had been before, but I almost think that, and I'm first I got to say, I'm running an NVIDIA 4090, and I'm running a 13900K CPU. So right now, I believe that the Zinc is more beneficial to AMD cards, and but since I don't have any, I can't say that. But I've been hearing that if you turn this off, you'll get just it's a little bit smoother. And when I had that on, I think I saw that. I was kind of taxiing down the runway, and I was looking at the markers alongside the runway. And every once in a while, I would see them stop and then start again. It's really fast, what I'm seeing. And I kind of went, nah, let me try without it. So. Oh, okay. Are you running VR mouse? So texture quality, I can run it either place, but I leave it here. The one change I did do is I heard this would currently is a benefit. I was running it all the way down because I was getting some bad artifacts out of it, but I don't see them now. I don't see what I would see as an artifact here. If I move my head like that, I would see an artifact. Oh, okay, all right, because I know for sure with the current Beta 4 on my system, if I let me finish this and I'll go back to that. So now I'm running this up on Ultra, and I think I see it. I think it's better. A lot of this is subjective. This guy here, there's no need. I'm running the 4090. There's no need. That's off. So if this guy here is hungry, if I pull him up here, I'll probably lose 5 frames, if not more. So I've been trying to run him down like that, but I always play with him, trying to see if I can get a little bit more. But it just seems like it is really hungry on frames. So let me go back over here. Yeah. So on my system, if I start up with Beta 4, if I start up not using zinc, that's first. And so I start up not using zinc, and I'm starting up with the OpenXR flag. If I say enable this, and then enable VR, so when you do that, you're kind of down here, and then you have to click on done. As soon as I click on done, basically it is a crash to desktop 99% of the time. It is. I got it to work once out of probably 10 or 15 attempts, and went, oh wow, that's bad. And so I ended up getting. I didn't have a bug report. I kind of reported it on the developer Slack channel, and Ben come back to me, and he wanted to know the bottom, the last in your when you get a crash at desktop and the auto reporter shows up, in the very last thing in the log file is going to be a number, and basically what it is a number where they can go look back and see what the crash was, which is pretty cool that they can do this. And so I did that, and I just got a build from Chris Serio yesterday, and basically it's fixed. But the problem was it's beta 3, so I'm not using it because it's beta 3. So, but I would get a crash at desktop most of the time. But currently I'm not running Zinc, and I don't use this because I'm like I said, I don't use a mouse in DR. So cool. So okay, alrighty. I think I'm gonna go play. So I don't think I'm gonna bother taxiing. I'm just gonna cheat, and I'm gonna go. Let me. How do I want to do this? Let me turn on. Let me get some power on. This is so annoying for me, anyhow. Come on. Because I also don't use. I don't use these. I don't use the laser guys. I just like to touch things, and but the problem is that everything here is I can't see anything. So let me set COM 130.
COM 1 on 121.9er.
No, that's not what I wanted. Set COM 120.350.
COM 1 set to 120.35.
06. Departing runway 06. Advise on initial contact. You have information uniform.
And like right here, I'm trying to get to the flipper. And I mean, it's so hard. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get everything shut off. So I'm just going to launch myself 10 miles out from the airport. I just wanted to make sure I'm landing the right way. I'm coming in the right way. I may not. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna go off the other one. Alrighty, let's go fly. Change location, customize. This is so much fun to do in VR too. Okay, runway, 10-mile approach. And yeah, this will work. When you're doing a lot of testing, This is, yeah. Okay. Whoops. There we go. So, move some things. I was trying to get the vertical speed set up. We got enough power? Yeah, okay. Where are we at? Oh, need some more. Ooh, that's too much. 5 will work. Come on, go back down. Yeah, we'll try 6. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do is get in some clouds. I don't know how many people like kind of launch this way, but in X-Plane, it's kind of fun. Well, in VR now. In VR, it's kind of, so basically what you got to do is, because a lot of times I'll do it when I don't actually have a yoke hooked up, or I don't have it where it's at my beck and call, and normally, whoops. Okay, so normally it's like it's sitting over on its box out of the way, and so if I go back, I'm gonna try 2000. We'll see how this ends up. Should be right. But so I'll do that. So what you have to do is pretty quickly, like hit the heading bug and hit the altitude hold, you know. So the plane's actually gonna fly, so you can actually test something, and so especially when you're doing it in VR, you know, I mean, it's kind of like whoops. So, but I do this quite a bit. So where am I at? Trying to look. So basically, I kind of wanted to show, because I'm hearing like people like the clouds in VR are bad, and really, what doesn't it do? Oh yeah, I mean, I'm like, it's kind of like, we'll talk about clouds. I'll show Habitat in a minute. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, when I look out my window, that's kind of what I'm seeing. If you look. So look at where we're at. Scattered clouds. Yeah, they're AGL. They're 1,200 feet. I'm at 3,000 feet. So I'm going to be in scattered cumulus. So that's what they are. I mean, and they look pretty real to me. You know, I mean, so. Yeah, I mean, I am like so happy with what I'm seeing, you know, and the part that's really good is this. See the blue sky in between the clouds? That's what it looks like. I mean, that's blue sky. If there's no clouds further out, you're going to see blue sky in between the clouds. That's what it looks like in real life. So it's kind of like, oh, this is gorgeous. So, and so what do I don't like about VR right now? You probably can't see this in the stream, but when I'm looking at the houses and stuff, they're kind of flickering. Not all of them. Kind of the ones further out flicker more than the ones closer in. The ones closer in don't flicker at all. They don't. Not at all. And whoops, the cloud just changed. All of a sudden I got more sunlight.
Attention all aircraft. Erie International Tom Bridge Field, altimeter 3006.
I'm not sure what golf course that is. Oh, one thing with X-World. With X-World, unless you kind of like play with it a little bit, you don't see the golf courses. So what I've done is there's a way where you can, there was a file that the guy from X-World gave out, and you got to make a few changes, and then you can get the golf courses show up. Okay, so I am seeing something a little bit. I have an artifact going on right to my left. where I'm looking at this, there's kind of like, how should I put this? Yeah. If you can't find the file, there's a golf file, poll. I think it's a poll file. If you can't find it, just either get a hold of me, whichever way you can, and I'll give you the file. So because it come from the guy that made X World. So, and I actually have the. I think I put the instructions in kind of like a file. So I think I have it in a folder. So yeah. Just do like a friend request or whatever, and you know, I'm good. So, but so where are we? So I'm kind of to the left of Erie. Yeah, so that was kind of disappointing because we have golf courses all around here, and I've always used them for like landmark. And what they would look like would be just grass. So what was missing is the fairways, and the sand traps were missing. I mean, the sand traps are like I can see over there to my left. There's a golf course. How can I tell? Because of the sand traps. You can see them from that far away, and so the fact they weren't there, I'm like, well, you got to be kidding me. That's just kind of crazy. So, but all in all, yeah. And so what I have, it's not all the time. That is weird. I had some artifacts kind of in front of me to my left here as I'm kind of looking out, and boy, it's hard to explain this. It was kind of like, not even a screen door would be the right term, but it was just kind of like a really faint shadow, kind of like that. As I moved my head, it would change. It's gone now. And so like trying to like write a bug report about that. Oh, I have no idea how I would do that. So, but how are we doing? That looks good. Airspeed looks good. Height's good. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, dokie. And yeah, and all I check, like for stutters and that kind of stuff. Just look down. And does the scenery below you just slowly move by? Does it jump? And when I was using zinc, I would see it jump. Just very fast, but it still would do it. And so I said, well, let me try without zinc, because I thought like that I had to have zinc on because of like the OpenXR, the flags and stuff. I thought I needed zinc for to use that, but that's not true. Oh, okay. I was surprised I explained that well enough. Yeah, it's back again. Yeah. That's weird. And it just went away. It was almost like kind of related to clouds, kind of like. Almost. Yeah, it's gone now. But it was there just for a little bit. That's bizarre. But in general, yeah. It was just a quick stutter, just fast, like quarter of a second. And I think it was related to me moving my head, because originally I run three lighthouses, and I had a power failure, and I have mine on outlets that I can turn on and off. I normally don't use that, but whenever I have a power failure, they drop out. So I was only using 2 of 3, and I thought that was it. That the third one wasn't running, but as it turns out, that wasn't the issue at all. So, it's just every once in a while, and it's not often. I just get like a really fast stutter, and I think it's so fast you would never see it in a stream. That's what I found is you can have really fast stutters, and in a stream they don't show up at all. It's gone. You do. I went I also did. I had a crystal pre-order. I had a crystal pre-order from November, and I started. How did this go down? Okay, so all of a sudden I start hearing about this headset called the Big Screen Beyond. I had no idea who Big Screen was. No idea. I don't do VR chat or that kind of stuff. No idea. And but I started hearing about this, and then I seen the trailer, and I went, and I am an Apara Kickstart backer, so I already wanted that form factor. So I was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can actually get that form factor, and it's real. So I kept looking for information, and the information was kind of slow, and it was trickling out, and but everything I heard, was kind of pointing like the Big Screen's it's small, field of view may not be as big as maybe what I have, but right now, because I'm on my Vive Pro 2, because I have lens inserts, that actually limits my field of view already, because it basically has shoved my eyes kind of further back. So when I look out, it's not quite like in a ski goggles. It's better than that, but not by a lot. So I'm kind of going, well, then it's not going to be that different. And so then I heard that they were going to do a pre-order, and unlike the crystal pre-order where you only put $30 down, no, you're going to put the full price down. And I'm like, okay, well, let me think about this. I mean, I've already been burnt with a Apara for $500. I'm like, but when I started listening to people, and basically, and the other thing was, it's an American company. Yes. So it's an American company, and I kind of went, and then they said, at any time, if you want a refund, you tell us, we'll give it to you. So I kind of went, okay, that's good. So, yeah. So basically, if you want to pre-order a Big Screen Beyond, you give them $1,000. And on the promise that if you live in the United States, in the third quarter of this year, we are in the third quarter, you will get one. And I kind of went, okay, well, that's good enough for me. And the more I heard, the more happy I was with my decision. So much so that I think it's been about a month ago now. I canceled my crystal order, and because what I was hearing for my use, I didn't like a headset that tried to do everything. I kind of like the big screen. Let's turn my heading knob a little bit here. I like the big screen idea of let's do custom. So because I personally use my headset only, nobody else. I don't share. So we'll do custom. So it'll be custom IPD. It'll be you do a face scan, so it's a custom facial interface. And so I kind of went, okay, well I'm gonna go with that. So yeah. So I went ahead and it was probably more than a month ago now, because it was before I went to FS Expo. So it's probably been now 2 months ago. So I go ahead and cancel the pre-order, and So, of course, they're going to say, well, you really need to try it, you know? And I'm like, well, no, I don't necessarily have to. So finally I convinced them, yeah, okay, I'm serious. I want to cancel it. So the pre-order was $30 and they give me $27.50 back. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, but whatever, you know, I mean, so, but, at FS Expo, I got to try a crystal. So I got to try one. And because I was going to FS Expo, and I knew they were gonna be there. And what I didn't know is, until I looked at the floor plan, is they're right across the aisle from X-Plane. so I could be bullshitting at the X-Plane booth and just look over and go, oh, there's an opening. I tried on Saturday, didn't work, couldn't get in. So Sunday morning, I made up my mind. I said, I gotta try the crystal. So I did, and so the dude that's in all the trailers and stuff, he was there, and so I tried it, and it I didn't get a wow factor out of it, and I said to him, I says, quite frankly, I says, I think my Vive Pro 2 looks better. His expression was priceless. Come on. Wait a minute. That's impossible. I'm like, okay. He says, well, maybe the IPD isn't adjusted right. So I got my IPD kind of where it should be. So I got as good a view as I could out of it. And I was also wearing glasses in it. May have had an influence now that I think about it. Because I wear bifocals. So there is a chance that I was looking through the wrong part of my glasses, and that was the problem. So I didn't get the wow factor that people were seeing. It was high res, no doubt about it. But I was having a hard time, like, just looking at. Actually, I was doing a pattern, and I was having a really hard time, like, kind of just doing a pattern, doing a landing. So, but when I adjusted the IPD, it looked better, but it didn't look not that much better. So at least I got to try one in real life. So I walk over to the X-Plane booth, and I'm chatting with this dude, and it's a dude from the vertical takeoff people, and so I'm chatting with him, and he says, hey, you want to take this for a flight? And I'm looking down, I'm going, what headset's that? He says, well, it's an Arrow. I went, oh, okay. So I go from a crystal to an Arrow. My God, what a difference. It was amazing. I mean, like how, but I tried the Arrow without my glasses in it. I took them off. And so was there something about that? Boy, this is annoying. Come on. There you are. So was there something related to my glasses? Very well could be. It very well may have skewed my what I was seeing. So, but the fact I got to try that, and I got to try an Arrow on Sunday, that was cool. You know. So, and so that's pretty neat. You know. So, but so once, so since you like give Big Screen $1,000, basically they have a private Discord server that you can basically join, and so what we doing there? Okay, so what that allows you to do is kind of interact with the Big Screen developers, and also with the CEO of Big Screen. And so he had when was that? 3 weeks ago. Basically, he had just kind of a thing that there's a voice chat area called Hangouts, and basically it was ask me any question. So we were in that Discord, in that voice chat for wow, at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours. Basically, any question you wanted to ask, he answered it, which was like seriously refreshing. So I'm happy. When I did my pre-order, I did it on the very first day. So my pre-order was on February 13th. So it kind of sounded like towards the end of this month, or maybe the beginning of next month. They should ship one to me. So, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So, yeah, the form factor is so cool. And so kind of what also made my decision was, or made me more comfortable with my decision. I'm following a dude that does sim racing cars, and he does like all kinds of tracks. He also does drifting. He has it beyond. And one thing I've learned is if there's a streamer like how I stream with my headset, you can tell a lot about how the headset's working. How often does somebody touch their headset and have to adjust it to get it to look right? If you don't touch it, then it's probably on your face pretty well. But if you have somebody that did a video and you can't even see the headset, you don't see that. Or you don't see that may have been edited out. When you're streaming, you can't hide anything. So this guy here, he has like two views of his headset. One I think from the front, and then one from kind of overhead towards the back, and then the sim racing part. And so I mean, and he basically, like when he needs to like look at a screen or something, he just basically just shoves the Beyond up on his forehead, and then when he gets ready to race, he just slides it down on his face and doesn't touch it again. You kind of go like, wow. So what that means is that he's got to be in the sweet spot immediately. That's impressive. That's really impressive that you could actually do that. So, but he's also a little nuts because I forgot where he went. AWE, I think, and he actually wore it as a fashion accessory all the way around AWE on his forehead. So he's a little nuts, but it kind of reinforced how I think that my decision. So, but we'll have to see. You know, we'll have to see. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yep. Kind of did what I wanted to do. So the clouds are changing a lot right now because I'm going here. So basically where I live I live about 5 miles from the shores of Lake Erie, and I did my flight training in Erie, in KERI, and so flying along the shores of Lake Erie is a pretty common thing to do, and normally we would fly, like there's an airport out here, KHEY, Ashtabula County, and Northeast County, and so we would fly out to there. We'd fly out to Lost Nation. Lost Nation's pretty close to Cleveland. Burke Airport is a little bit further to the west. So, but that's how we would go ahead and fly, where we would fly. So. Oh, okay, all right. Did you go to Flight Sim Expo? Because it was in Houston. Oh, okay. That's too bad. Yeah, it was. Houston was warm. Wow, was it warm? Kind of like my kids live out in Phoenix, so I kind of know what warm is. So, but Houston was warm. So, I was kind of glad the venue, the museum and stuff was reasonably air conditioned. So, but they had food trucks outside, so you had to wait outside in the heat to get your food and stuff. So that was a little annoying, but it is what it is. So still a great venue, like because it was at the Lone Star Flight Museum there. So it was just so cool to have have a Flight Sim Expo kind of set up around vintage airplanes. That was just they kind of like were just a backdrop. It was just bizarre. So, but it was so much fun. So, sounds like yeah, they got more people than they ever did before. So that's kind of cool. So. Yeah, oh yeah, that was, yeah, this was the third one I've been to, so, I didn't go to the one kind of during COVID. I think that kind of, I'm like 72. It kind of scared me. I kind of like, I don't think so. I don't want to catch COVID. So I didn't, I bypassed that one, but I've been to the one that was in Vegas, and I went to the one that was in Orlando, and I was happy, so. Yeah, absolutely. So the sad part is after I come back from there, probably better than a week after that, and me and my girlfriend kind of like, how you feeling? I'm not feeling too well. so, and we've had like all our shots and stuff. We ended up catching COVID somewhere. I don't know if it was there or not, but we ended up catching it. But luckily, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I called my doc up and says, yeah, just take some, like ibuprofen or whatever to keep the fever down, and so it lasted for about a week, I guess, and then it was gone. So, but we had tests in house, so and yeah, no, you can, and but we had tests and stuff. So she took a test the day before I did. And she tested positive, so I took it the next day. Yep, I'm positive. So about a week after that, kind of was feeling, I won't say good, but way better, and took it. And, yeah, test said it was we were negative again. So okay, cool, that's cool, So all righty. Two minus open underscore XR. Yes. Okie dokie. So here's part of the. Thought my plane was turning. So let's do I'm gonna do a direct back to Erie. This is the fun part when I can't see my controller, because I'm going to do another screen using a different flag, the minus D3, D11, just to show the difference. So, okay. E. So, No, I have GPS. Yeah, so I like how I judge like a VR headset is like this. If I can, the other thing I can't show is how I set up my virtual cockpit. So you can see from the camera that basically I'm like in front of a desk, which many years I kind of like went, well, you can't. There's no way you can fly in VR that way. And so I have like a wheel stand pro, and I would pull it out and set it alongside my desk. And then I realized that if I set up my virtual cockpit correctly, basically, so right now my controllers are touching the edge of my desk. If you could see my controllers, they basically should be kind of where the virtual cockpit is, if not a little bit behind it. So I've basically taken the virtual cockpit and I pulled it closer to me. Why would you do that? Well, for one thing is, now I can go down here and I can hit all of these switches, and I don't worry about hitting the desk because these switches are in front of it. So that's why you do that. And so once I did that, that was cool, and it gives me a reference point. So the other thing is that I set my the rudder pedals and my yoke. I want my yoke to touch my belly. Yeah, it works great. I mean, I've been so happy with how this works. So the position is, I need to be able, and this is a fulcrum one yoke. So this yoke comes out 8 inches. So from the resting point of the yoke, I have to have enough clearance to get the yoke pulled all the way back. So it basically it's up against my belly when it's all the way back. So that's basically how I physically get myself. I'm physically in a cockpit, and I make the virtual cockpit match. So because of that, I judge on whether a VR headset is sharp enough resolution. One is just looking at the directional gyro. I mean, are all the numbers clear? That's an easy one. In other words, can you tell the difference between a 21 and a 24, between a 30 and a 33? Can you tell the difference? That's one. The other is, if you have a flight plan dialed in, can you just turn your head and look at the distance and go, that's 27.4, and it just changed to 3. Can you do that without leaning in? If you can, and I fly generally GA aircraft, if you can, then that's enough resolution. You don't need any more. Because the more resolution you buy in your headset, the harder it is to render it. So I make the is it good enough? You know, not that it couldn't be better. No, it can always be better. Is it good enough that you are not making any sacrifice as to what you're seeing in your headset? So that's kind of how I kind of look at VR. And like I said, I've been flying in X-Plane for at least 4 years. Whenever native VR come out for X-Plane, that come out on Christmas Day, I kind of looked at it, and at the time I'm the author of X-Static panels. So I'm the author. So the plugin that you will use if you have SATEC radio panel, multi-panel, switch panel, the plugin you'll generally use for X-Plane is mine, and it's on all 3 platforms. So it's Windows, Mac, and Linux. So I had all these panels, and when VR come out, and I kind of like looked at them and I went, if you get bitten by this, Bill, they're going to be useless. And I did. I kind of like looked at it and went, well, that looks really interesting. And so I bought, so shortly after that, probably 2 days after that. Oh, no problem. I kind of inherited that. My friend Karsten Leichner, he had some things going on in his life. He couldn't fully support it, and he asked if I would take it over. And it's been fun. It's been fun. And thank you so much. Thank you. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's challenging at times, but when people have issues with it and go, well, it's fly with law. It's kind of like, no. Does it happen when you don't have any scripts? Well, no. Well, then it isn't fly with law. It's the script you're using, and you can write bad scripts that'll do bad things. So, but so I think it was 2 days after it was released, I bought a Vive. Exactly. I bought a Vive, and so my birthday happens to be on the 9th of January. The Vive was delivered on my birthday. I kind of like went, oh, this may be an omen. I flew, so I started flying in VR, and compared to what I see now, I mean, where everything is clear, I mean, it was not. I mean, it was really low resolution, really low, but the immersion was over the top, and so I flew for it for about a week. And I was flying out of Erie, and I was using a reality expansion pack plane, so I was in a hurry to kind of take off, so I didn't let the plane warm up. So I come out of Erie, I'm about 1,000 feet above the ground, and all of a sudden I'm hearing the engine kind of go like it is not happy. So the engine ended up dying. So I'm looking at a prop in front of me, dead. And I'm like, okay, well, you've taken real training. Like, you would fly straight ahead and find some place to land this plane. But you're in a simulator. And so I just did a really gradual 180 turn, got the runway up back underneath me, and landed. Did a pretty good landing, actually. And from that point forward, never flew on a 2D screen, only to test. Anytime I'm going to go fly in X-Plane for fun, it's going to be in VR. so I just don't use a 2D screen. So. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. It's all in how you do it. It's all in how you do it. Just a gradual 180. Now, I wasn't gonna stall. No way. Like I said, I have 1,000 feet. Oh yeah, you got plenty of room to get it back on it. Like I said, it was 1,000 feet, so I wasn't too far from the airport. You know, I don't think I was half a mile away, but I may have been. But yeah, I was probably. I wasn't at the beginning of the runway when I landed. I was down the runway a little bit, you know, when I finally landed. So, but just trim the plane up, fly as far as you can. If there's a runway in front of you, it's way easier. So, but yeah, that I was just kind of got hooked. so I've been chasing a better headset from that point forward. So I've had like a Vive. Got a Vive Pro. I've had an Index. I've had a Reverb G2, and then I bought my Vive Pro 2. I had that for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden in the right screen, there's a green vertical line in it. I'm like, and I can't get rid of it. I'm like, oh no. So I'm on all the forums and the Discords. Kind of like, how do we get this fixed? And I'm hearing horror stories about sending it to the people that are in Europe, I forgot where their repair center was, Hungary or some place like that. May not be, but they were having a really bad luck. You know, that they would send the headset back, not really repaired, and so I'm like, oh man. So turns out that oh, okay. So I would have had the first HP reverb. Oh, you gotta have a G1 and a G2. Okay, I had a G2. Okay. But so my repair center was in Seattle, and so I sent it out there, and it was gone. I don't think it was gone 4 days, and they didn't repair it. They sent me a brand new one. So like, I was like, I didn't expect, and I kind of like went, how? Wait a minute, let me check, because I had pulled the cable off it, and I just sent the headset. So it comes back, it's got a cable in it. I'm like, what the heck? So, you know, so I went, well, that's pretty cool. And that's a headset I use to this day. So the first one had a problem, absolutely did. And, but I've been happy, you know, I mean, so, so being as impatient as I am, I didn't really, I think I may have had, I still had my index, but by that time I kind of was like, yeah, that's not enough resolution for me to be happy. So in the meanwhile, once mine left, I kind of like went, well, I need a replacement. So I kept hearing about the Pimax 8KX. They're really good. So I bought one of those in the time that mine left to go to the shop, because I figured it'd be there for a couple of weeks. So I get the 8KX, and so I had that, and probably 2 or 3 days later, then I get my repaired one back. So I got to play with the 8KX. I still have it. And I could never get myself comfortable in that thing. Just, I bought some counterweights for it, trying to get it more comfortable. And, but just the image of it it just kind of seemed like it would warp. It was really hard to get it kind of in a good place. So I kind of like went, well, okay. And then I hear about the they're talking about the 12K, and basically they'll give you whatever you pay for the 8KX or for any Pimax headset. They'll give that to you in trade-in value for a 12K. And I went, well, that's kind of cool. So that's why I've kept it. But I don't use it. It just sits in a box. So, you know, so once the 5 Pro 2 come back, then that's what I've been using ever since. So, okay, how far away we are? We're about 14 miles away. Okey-dokey. Well, let's see if we can get this to work. Yeah, that worked. Say active runway 4 Kilo Echo Romeo India.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 06.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, say again.
Request landing Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf requests to land at Kilo Echo Romeo India. Yeah, she's not happy with me. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready to land. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf ready to land. Yep. Okay. So let's take this guy up in autopilot. Ooh, that's hard. Wow. That is hard. Can't find the disconnect button. So I can find the trim button. Wow. There we go. that was hard. Okay. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to land, runway 06. For a G2, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to land, runway 06. Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Tower, go ahead.
Tower, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to land, runway 06. Say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 06.
I'm using Pilot's ATC. Actually works quite good in VR. I'm really happy with it. So I use a program because I'm on StreamVR. I use a program called. That's a little weird. It's pretty square. I use a program called OVR Toolkit, and that allows me to bring in. Basically bring in windows from my desktop. So this is my desktop. So I brought that in separately. So it allows me to see the feedback, you know. And right now she's not, she's just not listening to me. So I'm trying to, yeah, I've never, let me think. I'm pretty sure I used it on my G2. I'm pretty sure I did. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to land, runway 06. Something ain't right. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to land, runway 06.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 06, pattern altitude is 1,700 feet. Call downwind altimeter is 3006.
Enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 06, pattern altitude 1,700 feet, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
I'm hearing something in the background. My the way I have my audio set up, I have I think I have my desktop speakers turned up a little bit. Oh, left downwind. How do I want to do this? I'm gonna go around the airport. I can see the runway. I'm gonna go around the airport and go along the shoreline. Yeah, I've been using it for a long time, so. So 06 is this way, so they want me to do a left downwind, so I could go over by the lake, but I'd rather stay on the shore. I'll go around the end of the runway and I'll come in and make a pattern there. So 06. So set the bug. Set the bug to 06. Man, this is difficult. I keep losing my place. There we go. Yeah, so that's a little crazy. So you got these clouds that got these like squares. It's kind of like, I don't know if I've ever seen one of them in real life. Yeah, and like the golf courses, I mean, they look quite nice. I mean, like there's a box there. That's really hilarious. But yeah, I mean, they look like a golf course would look from here. So I'm like at like 2,700. So pattern altitude here is 18. So the airport's at 730. So. And so at Erie, we have a peninsula. So it basically juts out from the shore and basically hooks back around. So the peninsula itself is about 300 acres. So it's pretty big, and wraps back around, almost touches but doesn't. So there's like a channel. It's not real narrow. I mean, pretty good sized boat can go through it. And but basically, so what you have is a protected bay. So because Erie, the lake area is so shallow, when you get a storm on it, it can kick up pretty good. So I mean, I've seen at a couple of the places where you can get down by the lake. I mean, I've seen 8, 12, 14-foot waves coming in off the lake. It can get terribly nasty. So, and they've lost like the ships that travel on the lake, they're normally like between 600 and 800 feet long, and we've lost a few of them. I mean, just because a storm come up and it just got nastier than what the ship could deal with. So one of the famous ones is the Edward Fitzgerald. Got lost here. So. Yeah, so I figured I'd just go out here wide of the airport. Kind of look over. This area here is south of the airport would be Milk Creek. It's just a suburb of Erie. Down closer to where the peninsula comes back around, that's where Hammermill used to be. He had a big paper mill there, and but they closed her down. Kind of like we had GEs here. It's WebTech now, but when my dad was working there, they had probably 7,000 people working there. And I think now, I don't know if they have 2,000 working there now. So it's just sad, just kind of a lot of the heavy industry that was in Erie. Neither one. I just use X-World and Global Forest version 2. I don't use any of the ortho stuff because supposedly they don't have the water stuff figured out yet, or Laminar hasn't told the people how it should be. And if you noticed, I live on a lakeshore, so I don't want to screw up what the lakeshore looks like to use the ortho stuff. So I have chosen to just use X-World and Global Forest. That's all I intend to use until I'm assured that I won't mess up the shorelines. So they're a little too important to me because of where I live. And that's all. In 11, I use ortho for XP. So, whoops, that was a little weird. I haven't seen that happen in a while. I think we got a little bit of a cloud here. So this gadget over here, since I'm off in autopilot, this is my rudder pedals. Because the camera can see my yoke, it can't see my rudder pedals. So, so I made this thing, I call it a VR pedal visualizer. So if I move my rudder pedals back and forth, or the brakes, you can see them. So, and I wanted to make it small enough where I could just shove it right in here out of the way, kind of where the my landing rig guy is, just kind of out of the way, and it's translucent so I can see through it. So if there's something important on the other side, I can see it. So. Alrighty. So along the shoreline will be downwind for runway 06. So let's see how bad I can mess this up. It's going to be a little bit more fun because of the fact I can't see my controllers. It's a lot of things that are kind of instinctive or not, and missing the haptic. I didn't realize that was true till just recently, and that's a big deal. So that bug report has to be filed. Alrighty. Not doing too bad. A little quick. We'll power back a little bit. And I'm running the default Cessna 172, so. Oh, that's neat. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 06.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 06.
Okay. Neat. Got rain. Oh, this'll make it a little more entertaining. Actually looks, I mean, it really looks pretty cool. I mean, I've been pretty happy with how well that's worked. I remember when I was doing training here, of course, if it's wintertime, it tends to snow, and so we were. I was doing a run up, and okay, I'll pull the power back to about, maybe not that far, maybe that much. Go 1 hour to flaps. If I get this plane to descend a little bit. Yeah, I guess I'm okay. Yeah. So I was doing a run up, and so I spun around, and we were taking off on 2-4, so the opposite direction. So I had the plane pointed this way, and yeah, it looks like about 45%, 45 degree. So we'll do one more. Come on, descend. Yeah, 1500 should probably be okay. So I'm pointed back, looking that way to the west, and I look and I can't see the end of the runway. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I said to the instructor, I says, what is that? Well, a snowstorm moved in, and basically it covered the plane like within minutes. with probably, well, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches of snow. I says, I take it we're not going to go flying. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 360 at 7 knots, cleared to land runway 06.
Cleared to land runway 06 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Rain makes it a little deceiving. A little bit low. Not real low, but lower than I'd like to be. So let's give a little more throttle, so I'm up at 17, so it'll be okay though. Just arrested the descent a bit. Because this is a display threshold, so I gotta get out past. Or an early flare, really?
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf exit runway when able.
Oh, we'll do that. Trust me, this yoke makes this easy. I mean, like you could see when I was coming in for that landing, it just the subtlest, movement, and you know, so I could kind of like, okay, whoops, I don't want to balloon up, so just let it rest. You will run out of airspeed sooner or later, you know. So, and I think I had it. No, I didn't have it all the way down. I didn't have it all the way back, but it turned out okay. So got the flaps up. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, clear of active runway 06. That
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, welcome to Erie International Ridge, contact ground on 121.9er. Have a good afternoon.
Ground on 121.9er Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready to taxi to general aviation parking.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf taxi to general aviation parking via taxiways Alpha, Echo, hold short runway 02. Taxi to general aviation parking via taxiways Alpha, Echo, hold short runway 02 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Okay. Yeah, this airport here I've reworked for X-Plane 12. It's recommended right now. But I don't think it made it in the 6th. I'm not sure when it will, but it's recommended, so it should have. But something happened that with the gateway scenery airports that were ready, something happened. I don't know what, but it didn't make it. I can tell when I look at it, that doesn't quite seem
Cessna
right.
6 Bravo Golf cross runway 02. Cross runway 02 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, I did pretty much what I wanted to do and then some, so I figured as long as As long as I was out that way, I might as well come in and do a landing. I haven't done a landing in a little bit of time, but still do okay. Give me a second. Sure, the fuel truck doesn't run into me. Got enough momentum here. Not bad. Yeah, so over on the right there, that's where the flight school that I went to was. It's moved. He went. He left Erie and went down to Meadville. He had the owner, the CEO of the flight school, had some problems with the people here in Erie. Not sure why, but stuff happened. So, okay, sorry. Okay, so it let me show. Okay. I'm in VR showing this. You can look at it on the desktop too. But so the current OpenXR runtime is SteamVR, and the downside of showing this is let me get out of here. Turn the game. Is my chat window doesn't show. So let me do it differently. So if I go over here and click on this and go under settings and there we go. So up here at the top, so there's a column here that says OpenXR. And it says current OpenXR runtime is SteamVR. So that's kind of one way to know. And I thought there was something here too, but I don't see what. No. So that's the only way I know for sure. Well, that I know. Oh. So kind of the right way to look at this, it doesn't. Everybody thinks that it's gonna put OpenXR in place of SteamVR, and that is not how I'm understanding how this works. And if actually you look at the postings from X-Plane, it says it supports OpenXR, but no place do you see where it says replaces SteamVR with OpenXR. So, but quite frankly, none of the none of the developers that kind of posted pretty much anything about this, with maybe just kind of what this flag is, but not necessarily how it actually works. So in other words, like how how Xplane takes those .json files and uses them, there's no place that's documented that I have found. So I mean, I'm just kind of surmising how joystick configurations work, and I was because I was working with Chris and he created one for my controllers. That's kind of the only reason I even looked there, to kind of go like, oh, okay. And then I kind of watched, because I think we went through probably 4 or 5 iterations of an updated .json file, until it finally did everything that the normal Steam VR bindings did. So that's the only reason I know anything. But it wasn't that I read it someplace. I just seen it there and then looked at what from change to change to change. I was watching what he was changing. So that may not be clear. But if it isn't, it's because I don't know any different. So, and that's just kind of where it is right now. Because I mean, it works. I mean, you can see. I mean, it works. You know. Yeah. So it absolutely works. But we. Give me a minute. Oh, if you just do Sparker in VR, yeah, you'll get me. The same as my my Twitch, my YouTube, and my Discord are all identical. So you'll find me there. Just do a friend request, and we'll catch up. Yeah, I was lucky that I picked a unique enough name that worked. Because I wasn't sure when because I started streaming 2 or 3 years ago. I started streaming right after the last Flight Sim Expo I went to, and at that Flight Sim Expo I didn't know what Discord or Twitch was. I just didn't know. I knew YouTube, but I didn't know Discord. I didn't know Twitch, and so I'm sitting across from but I was sitting across from a dude, you know, and I didn't know who he was at the time. It was John Fly from he's a Twitch streamer, kind of not as much as he used to do, but so he looks across the table. There's a big table, probably 20 people sitting at this table. He looks across the table. He says, "Are you Sparker?" And I'm like, because that's my handle on xplane.org. And I says, "Yes, I am." And that's where I first learned about Twitch, and then I learned about Discord shortly thereafter at the same Flight Sim Expo. So I kind of so that was in June. So I did my first Twitch stream in January. Kind of took me that long to kind of figure out all the tools I needed, because I kind of looked around and I went, there's nobody streaming VR. I mean, hardly anybody. There's one other dude I know that Downwind Sim streams in VR, and but there's very few people in the sim community that actually stream in VR. There's people that do videos, but not streaming. That's different. And so it took me about 6 months before I finally both had enough nerve and had enough tools, you know, to figure out that I could like do this. So I started like in January. So and been having a lot of fun. It's just great when you actually have people in chat you can interact with, and I think I've shown today that unless I am on a short final, no, I'll interact with chat. Short final, nope, I'm pretty focused. But any other time in a pattern, no, I got this. So I'll interact with chat, and if I don't, I try very hard to kind of like say, hey, I'll get back with you, because I have it set up where I hear a ding when I get a message. And VR, I find it's very, very important because I have my chat window is not in my normal vision, so I have to look up a little bit to see it. And so I have a ding go off that I know I've got a message, and then depending on the message, how quick I can look at it and understand it. Some of them are long, and I gotta like think about it a little bit, But that's kind of how I have it set up. It's exactly like that. So and I find that was the most important thing I've figured out, is to make sure that I can know I got a new message, and I can react to it however I need to, depending on where I am in the stream. So, but I think I'm gonna call it a day, and well, went well. Yeah, not bad. And yeah, so I'm still at. And this is what. Thank you so much. And this has changed tremendously. In X-Plane 11, if a cloud went over my head, the frames would drop by probably 10. Just the cloud over my head, they'd drop by 10. I've flown through clouds. I've had a rainstorm, and I'm still at 45 frames. That's pretty cool. Where weather that's pretty normal doesn't kill your frames. That's pretty nice, especially in VR. So, but been pretty happy, and I will. So this headset, it's a Vive Pro 2, and so its resolution is 2448 by 2448. So I'm running. I'm giving X-Plane basically 2508 by 2508. So I'm basically running native res, and I've explained like how I judge resolution. How is it good enough? So do I need to do even more super sampling to make it better? And as far as I'm concerned, no, I don't. And the only thing it will do for me is give me less frames. so let's not do that. So, alrighty, gonna call it a day. Thanks for all for stopping by, and Captain Bombazzo, we'll chat on Discord. All have a great day. If you enjoyed this content, please click on the follow button, so when I go live, you'll see me. And what I tend to do is I tend to put up stream starting soon, normally 15 minutes before I fly. So it gives time to kind of show up, and sometimes people will start chatting and I'll forget, that I have the stream starting soon image up before I actually make the stream go live. So. Hey, you too, Iowa Scotsman. Thank you so much for stopping by. Y'all have a great day. It's been fun.